And we're back after a brief break. You're watching South Texas Crossfire. Don't forget our sponsor, Vasquez Flores Home Health, 881-9922. Nursing homes have their place, but if you have a loved one that you want to keep in the home, and Nuestra Cultura cree que sí, then you call 881-9922, or if you want a job as a provider, 881-9922. Priscilla Vasquez, backed by over 25 years of experience, she can help. Now, back to politics, and we are going a highly contested race, highly contested primary. Time is running out. Everybody get out there, and if you don't have your government ID, register to vote. Recuerde que su voto es su voz. Si no regístrate a votar, no puedes quejar después. So get out there and make sure that early voting is the 18th through the 28th, and election day is March 4th. Without further ado, I bring on a very celebrated candidate who is running to be your next judge, 148th District Court, and this young man has done a great deal in his law career, and I give you Mark Gonzalez. How are you, Mark?
How's it going, Joe? Pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you being on. I know that you have a very strong campaign, and one of the issues, I love it. I saw your debate against your opponent. He quoted Socrates, and you said, I believe, I'm not going to quote Socrates, let me quote the Socrates that's mine, which is my dad. Correct? Los consejos?
That's correct. Anselmo Gonzalez, the Socrates of my household.
And taught you how to be a man as my father did. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up, your education, your training, your background.
Well, Joe, obviously, my name's Mark Gonzalez. I'm from a small town, Agua Dulce. You blink your eye, you passed it. So
go Longhorns.
There you go, go Longhorns. It's at the outside of the county. I graduated high school there. I attended, moved to Corpus. My mother lived here in Corpus. I went to Texas A&M University, go Islanders. And then after that, the only time I've been away from Nueces County was attending law school at St. Mary's in San Antonio.
Excellent university, excellent.
Go Rattlers. So after then, I decided to move back and just open up my own office and hang out my shingle, and I've been doing so since that day.
Well, and you know, this is a very interesting primary. You've got somebody who's ran for office before, and it does have some name recognition, but so do you, because you have tried upwards of a couple of dozen trials by now to verdict or more. I mean, I practically see you living in that courthouse trying cases of different sorts.
You know, I'll be proud to say that I've tried tons of cases. I want to say at least by now over 100 jury trials. You know, and
that's amazing, because I didn't get to 100 until I had at least about 11 years of experience as a lawyer. So you have really, that is I'm telling people out there who don't know lawyers, that's a great amount of trials.
You know, and I've done so every kind of case from misdemeanors all the way to capital murder. I remember my first capital murder was when I was 29. I think I've had maybe 3 or 4 more after then. And then I got Criminal Defense Attorney of the Year in 2011. So, you know, I've been out there working in that courtroom every day, doing what needs to be done, doing the ins and outs, and as well as being a businessman.
But let me ask you this. You've also seen the civil side of cases as well, correct? And family law and things of that nature?
You know, when you're a solo practitioner, as you know, Joe, a lot of things walk into the door, whether it's a criminal case, whether it's a family law case, or whether it's a civil case, car wrecks, any kind of civil case where there's a dispute involved, or family law where there's, you know, families at ends where there's custody issues, child support issues, who should get the child, things of that nature. So I've been involved in all of those, with my main focus, of course, on criminal. But I've had my hand in every kind of case. I've even had a jury trial on a civil case just recently in Duval County.
Well, and one of the issues that I think that people don't know about is what sort of cases will you be handling in district court, in 148th District Court?
Well, you know, the bulk of the in and out day business in the 148th or any district court across any state, any county in Texas, 70% of the bulk of the cases you hear every single day is criminal. That's the main thing you're going to be working on day in and day out. Then I'd say maybe another 20% to 25% is family law. And then you have your civil cases, and a lot of them get filed to civil cases, but most of them reach a resolution by an agreement. So you don't really have as many jury trials regarding civil cases as you do into relation criminal.
And turning towards politics and campaigning, it would almost seem, and that your opponent is almost thinking that it's an afterthought. He's preparing for November, I guess, because he's older, and he's run some other races. I don't think he's ever served, but he has run for the four races. In response to that, when people say, well, he's got 20 years on you, you're in your 30s, he's in his 50s, does that automatically say he's the better judge?
And I'd respond to that. Speaking with other individuals that have been on the show, even Judge Huerta, you look at some of the judges today that have been doing a great job and very well respected. Look at Judge Ramos, who's a federal judge now. She started when she was younger than me in the district court.
Judge Hayden Head started in his 30s, and he served very well for 30 years as a federal judge.
So, to say that someone is young isn't qualified would be judging a book by its cover, and I'd suggest that no one do that. Look at someone's work record or work history, and in that courtroom, that's the people's court. The people that go before that court are from the community, and that's who I've represented day in and day out from day one. So I'd have the most experience regarding my opponent, whether he's been practicing law 25 years or 50 years. He can't make up that experience from here to March 4th or from here to even November. There's just no way, Joe.
The issue of the people that he's represented have been more entities rather than people. Can you say with some certainty what makes you different from him? Why should the voter cast their lot with you?
Because I'd answer that this way, Joe. I mean, the people out there voting, they're not entities. They're not corporations. Most of them, they're struggling out there to make ends meet. They work hard. They have families they care about. And those are the people that I've represented from day one. I care about my community. I care about the people I represent. And as a judge, I'm going to care about everybody that walks in that courtroom, whether you're a defendant, whether you're a victim, or whether you're the community. As a judge, you have to take all those things into consideration. And I don't see a big place in when you represent a corporation, you're going to deal with those kinds of people. You don't have that perspective that a good judge would need to determine, what's best for this family, what's best for this young guy who made a mistake, and what's best for this victim who ultimately went through some ordeal. So if you don't have that, I think it's going to be hard to say you're qualified to do so.
What makes your life experience differ from your opponents that would make you a more human judge?
Well, I can tell you, Joe, I'm wearing a suit here today. And in my office, I have some papers on the wall, just like you do. But
the eagle wall, we call it.
But I am who I am. I'm never gonna forget where I come from. I tell people, just because if I'm a lawyer, you can be a lawyer. If I'm a judge, hopefully one day they'll think they can be a judge. I'll never forget where I come from. These suits and these degrees don't change us. At least it doesn't change me. And so I want everyone to know who goes in that court that just because I'm a lawyer or just because I have a degree or if I'm in a suit, it doesn't change who I am. I'm a person who relates to the people and has that perspective of the individuals that will come before me in front of that court.
When you're knocking on doors, we want to give you an opportunity, like everybody else, to knock on 100,000 doors that have this channel and they're watching. Why should they vote for you instead of your opponent?
Well, why should someone vote for me? I'd answer that, Joe, because they can relate to me. And I'll be accessible to that court. First off, I want to serve the community. That's my main objective. I want to serve and I want to inspire these people that will come before me. I'm thinking, if I'm in front of them and they see somebody like me that they can relate to, maybe it's going to change the path that they take. Maybe the decisions they make while they're under supervision of that court will be different. As well as what if it inspires, you've been around this political scene for a very long time. We need to get the youth out there, the minorities out there, the people that have a voice, they just don't exercise it. I'm hoping that if I can get some people to come out and vote or some people to run for office that normally wouldn't, I think that win, lose, or draw, I come out of this thing as a winner. I want to inspire the community and inspire people just to come out and to hear their voices. And I'm hoping to accomplish that. Being a judge is my own goal that I have, and I want to help the community. but by me running can inspire and bring start a fire under some people that normally wouldn't.
And lastly, there was an issue of the social media question, from Barack Obama to, even Lloyd Neal has a Facebook page. And some people say, well, he rides a motorcycle. He has a tattoo or two. So I'm not voting for him for those things. What would you tell people that see you on Facebook having a beer watching a softball game?
First off, I would like to say that the social media and the way we communicate has changed. We're communicating in ways when things happen at that moment, not later on, an hour long. People want that knowledge right then. So I thank social media for at least putting my message out there. And it's a double-edged sword. Everyone gets to know who you are, and sometimes they see things that you might not want to see. But I'd say, that I am who I am, and I welcome people to ask me questions about that because I'm transparent. What you see is what you get. I'm not going to hide who I am, and I'm hoping that people can relate to that and say, you know what, I do those same things. I'm silly with my daughter, or I'm funny with my wife, or whenever I'm hanging out with my friends, we take silly photos. If you want to take that out of context, and I guess, if those are the issues that you're trying to bring up on a young guy who maybe has tattoos and ride motorcycles, then so be it. But the real issues here are my work ethic. Am I qualified? Do I have the experience? And can I be a great and fair judge and inspire people? And they won't be putting that or hitting on those things. They're going to try to take other things out of context, and I'm okay with that.
Well, and I appreciate your time. Mark Gonzalez, and the magic number to call if they want to sign your T-shirt, get involved with you. What's the number to call?
You can call me on my cell phone, 361-442-5124. If you want to sign, you want a T-shirt. I hope we start a grass movement. I want to see people at the malls wearing my shirt, at the trade center, in parking lots, you name it, taquerias. We want to be everywhere because that's who I am. I'm everywhere. I eat at these places. I go to these places. I'm from the community. I want to serve the community. And I hope you want me to do that as well.
Well, Mark Gonzalez, and he's running to be your next judge, 148th District Court. And don't forget to get your voter registration card now. And voting starts the 18th through the 28th, and Election Day is the 4th. Don't wait, and have your government ID there. Vote, vote, vote. And it's, again, Mark Gonzalez, 148th District Court. We're going to be uploading this on YouTube. If you don't have Time Warner, it can come to you, or you can visit his Facebook page. And we're out of time. Thank you, and God bless.
Democrat Mark Gonzalez. He's proud of where he came from and the people he represents. That's why Mark Gonzalez is running to be our next district judge. Mark Gonzalez cares about our community. Mark Gonzalez represents our values of hard work, honesty, and respect. As our next district judge, Mark Gonzalez will bring those values to the courthouse every day. On March 4th, elect a Democrat that is looking out for you. Elect Mark Gonzalez as our next district judge.